4 Badagers.
It's a good card. Check. Maybe he has ace-8 suited with a backdoor. Queen-jack suited with a backdoor. Queen-9 suited with a backdoor. Ace-9 suited with a backdoor. Unblock those.
10.5 and 12.5. And in this spot, Steven opens ace-queen suited under the gun with 93 blinds. The cutoff calls, and he goes heads up. The cutoff has 41 blinds here. 10-5 deuce rainbow is the flop with no backdoor flusher for Steven. He goes for a check. The cutoff bets 2.7 in 7.1. Steven call. Turn card is a 4. It's Badugi rainbow. Goes check. Cutoff bets 10.5 in 12.5. Steven makes the call. And the card is a 6. Goes check to cutoff, which jams 28 blinds into 33.5. What's your thought process here, Steven?
As you heard me say on stream here, the suits does matter a lot here. Because on the rainbow board, his main bluffs here is gonna be suited hands with a backdoor, right? A hand like Queen-Jack suited, a hand like Queen-9 suited, a hand like King-Queen suited, Ace-8 suited, Ace-9 suited. Those with a backdoor is gonna bet on the flop. And when a Badugi card hits on the turn, now my Ace-Queen with no suit is gonna be very attractive to call again on the turn. But then a one-liner hits on the river and I'm in a really tough spot here with Ace-Queen high. So when I face a jam on the river, I'm thinking to myself that my range looks exactly like what I have here. And it probably expects me to do a lot of folding here because I'm calling ace-high on the flop from his perspective. And of course, I have to call the turn as well because I pick up a gutter here with the ace-high. If he thinks I'm going to end up on the river with a lot of ace-high, it's going to be really attractive for him to go for an all-in. And of course, I'm going to have like 9s, 8s, and those type of hands as well. But I think like 9s and 8s is going to be a much worse bluff catcher than ace-queen high with no suits. Because ace-queen high with no suits is going to block some, ace-10 suited, queen-10 suited, and of course unblock a lot of bluffs as well. But 9s doesn't do the job. 9s doesn't unblock any bluffs or block any value as well. So I decided that my combo here with no suits is going to be a good hero call. And also for the fact that I think this is a spot that's going to be pretty attractive for him to bluff. So I was thinking, okay, he's gonna probably overbluff these spots as well. Looks like we have exactly what we have, actually. He knows I have to call ace-high on the turn, and he probably thinks I'm folding ace-high on the river.
The bounty, by the way, for a sec.
Yeah, he eats a bounty, by the way. I think this is a better bluff catcher than pocket 9s. Kill Fadolfers.
Crazy.
What's crazy?
Oh, no, I played first blood. We got a booty.
I didn't hear it. No sounds.
You were spot on with this holding. It was ace-8 suited. 10, 3 10s, 2 spade now.
Might take a stand, maybe. Don't block any bluffs. We don't really have a pocket pair.
9.5 and 13.2.
Easy to overbluff here. We call.
Alright, so in this spot, it falls to the small blind, who opens 3.5x. Steven has ace deuce offsuit and goes for a call with 42 blinds behind. The flop comes 10, 10, 3 rainbow. One bets 2.5 and 8.2. Steven makes the call. Turn is another 10 for 3 10s and 2 spade now. One continues 9.5 and 13.2. Steven makes the call. Every card is a jack. One goes all in, covering Steven, who has 28 blinds, and the pot is 32. What is going through your mind in this spot?
So it's putting me into a pretty tough spot here when I have ace deuce high. Well, the first thing I think about in this spot is how the preflop range looks. And the preflop range is going to look a little bit different because I think my opponent here is opening a bit more suited connector and suited gapper heavy range. And the reason why is because it's a bounty builder. And he's probably going to open a hand like 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, 7-8 suited, 7-5 suited type of hands. Because those hands is going to be pretty nice to have in a bounty builder when he covers. Because he can crack a lot of my hands here with these type of hands and get my bounty. And of course, all his strong hands is also going to go for a raise here in a bounty builder. But yeah, he's probably expanding his range with a lot of like suited cards. But probably not going to pick like suited trash. Because it's going to be hard to get my bounty with suited trash, right? So then I think about my range, how my range look. And it's a bounty builder and it's early into the tournament. When it's a bounty builder and it's early into the tournament, I'm probably going to shove a lot of hands here pre-flop for value. Because if I shove ace-10, he's supposed to call with a lot of worse ace-x's. So that's why 10-10-3 is going to be a pretty tough spot for me because I'm not going to have many pocket pairs here. And I have to defend ace deuce on the flop. And when another 10 hits the turn, now it's even worse for me because I'm not going to have many full houses. So then it's going to be a pretty attractive spot for my villain here to start bluffing the turn. So I have to call again on the turn where ace deuce, I think, and on the river when I jack it. Yeah, now it's pretty tough here. When he shoves all in, I'm thinking to myself, how can I have a jack here? What full houses could I have here? I can't only call down if I have quads. So then I think about my combo ace deuce here. How does ace deuce interact with his range? I think the ace of course blocks some value hands he can have. But the deuce shouldn't really block many because of the fact it's a bounty builder. And I don't think it's going to raise many deuce axes pre-flop because it's going to be hard for him to get my bounty if you have a deuce in his hand. So then a deuce is probably good to have here. And the ace is not going to block any bluffs at all here. Since this is a very attractive spot for a reg to just go for it, I think it's going to overbluff in this spot.
All these spots on the 500, huh? Let's call there.
6 for high. Fuck. Only last second there. So close.
Yeah, what's much to have behind?
18.
Just 18, huh? Get some showdown value. Let's call.
So in this spot, Steven had ace 9 suited, opening in the hijack with 20 big blinds. It falls to the big blind with defend. The flop is 8, 7, 4, 2 spade. Steven had clubs there for no backdoor flush draw. He goes check, check. Turn card is an offsuit jack to the board. Big blind leaves 5 in 5.5. Steven makes the call. And the card is the 8 of spade, completing the flop push and pairing the board. The big blind puts Steven all in here, leaving Steven with 13 blinds behind and a pot of 15.5 blinds. What's going through your mind here, Steven?
Okay, so in this spot, I'm thinking a lot about the exploitative concept. Is this a spot where people are overbluffing or not? And I truly believe this is a spot where he's gonna have so many bluffs to pick from that it's hard to not overbluff, right? So what could he bluff? I'm thinking that for sure, with his big sizing on the turn here, he's not gonna have like king jack anymore. He wouldn't pot king jack on the turn. The reason why is because I'm gonna have ace jack here. So he's really polarized and repping like 2 pair or better. And yes, I block 9, 10, but I also block some bluffs. But imagine he has queen 10, king 10, queen 9, king 9. All these combos, those are 56 combinations. And I think you can bluff all of these. And of course you can bluff some 5x's and 6x's as well. And I really believe when the flush gets in on the river, it's even more attractive for him to go for an all-in. And of course the 8 is gonna be a good card, because now it cuts down on his 2 pair combinations, and it's not gonna have an 8 in his hand, because he wouldn't pot bet an 8 on the turn. And since it's really hard for me to have a flush here from his perspective, now it's even more attractive to go for an all-in, because now we know it's gonna have more value. And now it's even harder for him to slow down with his bluffs. And since I think this is a spot where people are overbluffing, because so many hands to pick from, I decided that, screw it. I think it's overbluffing. It's gotta be hard to not, right? So he can have a lot of bluffs like queen 10 with a spade and queen 9 with a spade. And of course can have like a lot of 9x's and 10x's in general.
Time.
Yeah. Let's call them. We block 9, 10.
Wow. 9 deuce for missed backdoor flush draw.
9 high. Huh. Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
You're such a genius, Steven! But anyways, like and subscribe because we're gonna post some more on YouTube's. Catch us live over at twitch.tv at blindguy7 at 9. Peace!